Revisiting my dreams with the king.
Yo, good people, welcome to another episode of The Ride, a journey towards your dreams. I'm your host, Johnny King III, aka Still Chill Leroy, and this is the Revisit Your Dreams podcast show, exclusively on the Revisit Your Dreams channel right here at youtube.com. As always, I have a very special guest and a very special episode to present to you today. But like always, we want to remind you of what we're doing here at Revisit Your Dreams. Here at Revisit Your Dreams, we provide inspiration, motivation, encouragement. We explore real life stories of trial, error, and success, and maybe even provide a few laughs along the way. Welcome again to season 4 of the show. Season 4 is titled Artisans. In this season, we are celebrating, honoring, highlighting, and featuring artists and creatives who are on their journey toward greatness in their respective professions. There's a lot going on here in the world today, and you could be anywhere doing anything. So we thank you for being here with us today and spending the time. My very special guest today, oh man, it's going to be a good show. My very special guest today is a compassionate influencer, motivator, and an inspiration to many. She's a valued leader in the medical health profession with over 30 years of dedicated service. In 2016, after already having earned 2 bachelor's degrees and a master's degree, she returned to school for an additional level of designation, and in 2019 earned her doctorate in nursing practice from Abilene Christian University. She is currently motivating a community of women and professionals with her new brand of content titled Dr. Latonya King Inspires. She is a proud HBCU graduate, a former Tennessee State University majorette, and a forever sophisticated lady. She is a proud mother, wife, and member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. She's born and raised right here in Nashville. I know her better than most. Please welcome to the show, making her first appearance on The Ride, a woman full of passion to see others win and succeed. Our very special guest, my wife, Dr. Latonya King. Welcome to the show.
All right, baby. Thank you for that introduction. I don't think I've ever heard you speak like that before about me, but I'm so glad to be on the ride. So thank you for that.
Man, stop capping. Y'all don't let her fool you and think I don't talk about her highly. Welcome to the show. This is about to be a fun ride for sure. I like to start off each episode by letting the audience know how I know each guest. Well, that's crazy. I don't even have my ring on right now. I just washed my hands and don't have my ring on. I was getting ready to show y'all my ring, but I took it off when I washed my hands, forgot to put it back on. Anyway, that's how I know her. If you didn't know, we've been related through marriage for over 14 years, going on 15. Although we both attended Tennessee State University during the exact same time of years, we had never met each other while we were in college. I knew half of her friends, half of her line sisters, her sorority line sisters. Long before I knew her, I even knew her younger sister and worked with her younger sister long before I knew her. But I'll save the rest of that story for another time. Let's just say once we did meet, the rest was history. Dr. King, do you have any comments regarding how we know each other in my opening statements?
No, you said it. I guess it's just fate. I think a lot of people think we knew each other, but we didn't. We were in school during the exact same years. Even lived in same cities at some point. When I lived in it, in the Atlanta, Georgia area, never knew each other, but creativity connected us.
Yeah, very interesting how we met and the amount of time we spent getting to know each other, and the rest was history. So, we'll save the rest for later on in the episode or another time. But let's go ahead and get into the show. You've done so much in your career, although the accolades I previously read come well short of fully describing your career. Your list of accomplishments is major, And I personally think that you are too humble to give yourself the credit that you so deserve. What was the moment in your life or career that made you decide to go back to school one final time and earn a level of degree that most people view in high regard, that doctorate degree?
Yes. But first, I didn't go back for the title or the degree. I've been working in the healthcare field for years. Um, before I was a nurse practitioner, I was a nurse and a respiratory therapist, but I wanted to make bigger impact. And so I know pursuing that doctorate in executive leadership would give me the tools that I needed and the confidence that I needed to impact change, develop programs, those types of things, which having that degree and getting that knowledge and really just making those connections um, gave me the confidence to do even doing your research project. There's a lot that you have to do that comes with that gives you that confidence that you know how to build teams, how to navigate, and how to network. And that was a big part of it, which is ironic because when I think about the platform that I have now, Dr. Latonya Inspires, one of the biggest part of that is encouraging, educating women to not just actually building a program, but to navigate reinvention and becoming who they were meant to be. So I know that's a long answer, but in short, to help me to get those tools that I need, the confidence that I need, and to expand upon what I already knew clinically.
Yeah. Man, of course, being married to you, I know some of you guys been waiting for this episode, waiting to hear from my wife. I wondered if I would ever bring her on to the show or if you would ever get the chance to meet her or hear from her, but here she is. I know at one point, you had even considered going back to school after you got that doctorate. And I was
Yeah.
like, what I tell you?
Well, a lot of people can relate, especially nurse practitioners, because I'm a lifelong learner, so I'm constantly wanting to learn, wanting to build, and wanting to help people. And I feel like the more that I know, the more that I can share and the more impact that I can make. So definitely I'll seeking that.
Yeah, I mean, being in the same household with a lifelong learner and a lifelong student can be intimidating sometimes. I told her at some point, like, hey, we got to
No more
we
school,
got to cut the
right?
school out. That's enough. We got to
Yeah,
pay these
maybe
student loans off.
that's right. That's right.
All right, but
Yeah.
also, what are some of the major highlights or memorable experiences in your career? You've done quite a bit. I know that you've gone out of town, you travel with certain people, you've been to certain meetings, you've been involved in certain ventures. What are some of the significant highlights that you recall from your career that stand out to you as being impactful in your journey?
Yes, there are a lot. I just thinking about it. Uh, but I would say probably most memorable. Well, I'll give two. I'll say one locally working at Nashville General Hospital um, in the capacity and role that I was working in was a highlight in that I there was a huge part that was a lot of community involvement. Going to the board meetings and the connections that was made and the confidence that was built, you know, professionally and personally as well. And from making those connections, one of the highlights for me was the relationship that I built with Vanderbilt's research department. My background in respiratory therapy and smoking cessation kind of led me down the research path. And one of the highlights was being able to go to the National Cancer Institute with one of the leading researchers at Vanderbilt University. And that was a meeting where the research project that we did was discussed. And that also led to some training at MD Anderson Cancer Center, where we spent a whole week out there with some of the top researchers in the country, discussing the latest evidence-based medicine and practices around smoking cessation and like motivational interviewing. So that was an experience I'll always remember, having that opportunity. But there's a lot more, but I would say those are probably the top two, being able to go to that National Cancer Institute and be recognized, and spending that week out at MD Anderson Cancer Center with some of the top researchers. Uh, I'll always remember that.
Yeah, I know that you were, I remember you being very excited about going and very, engaged when you came back, like how excited you were to, be uh, rubbing elbows and shoulders with some of those people and having those conversations and building that network around Vanderbilt and the doctors that you met there and traveled with. I know that that was an exciting period of time to be able to, get the recognition and be able to go, first of all, and then secondly, have the opportunity to be in the room with people who were at your level or even higher in many instances, which that's an amazing experience for exposure. All right, let's move forward. Learn a little bit more about Dr. King. Your learning journey continued when you graduated from Whites Creek High School in
That's
Nashville
right. Go, Russ.
and attended TSU, Tennessee State University, as a freshman. Talk about transitioning from the school that they once called Baby TSU as a cheerleader and halftime performer to the real TSU and
Hmm.
performing as a majorette.
Yes, and majorette at Whites Creek as well. Yes, they used to call us Baby TSU. Um, I always felt like I was a part of TSU growing up in Nashville, from North Nashville. I think I even have pictures sitting at TSU's library. I probably was 8 years old. Um, so that transition was special. I never felt like going somewhere else was like the thing to do. Although there was Morehouse, Spelman, and all those schools, um, TSU was where I always knew I was supposed to be. And being a majorette at TSU, it it felt very familiar because we had similar, coaches and stuff at the time that we had a lot of in White Creek as well. And so I learned a lot. I grew a lot. Um, Being able to travel like I did with TSU was very special to me. But it always felt like home to me. Even especially performing in the hole. Because I went to some of those games. Even in high school. So I have a lot of pride in being a majorette at TSU and having that, transition from Whites Creek to TSU that I think will always be a part of me. We have alumni group now, at TSU, alumni majorettes, and we still, try to connect to this day. So it always holds a special place
Yeah.
in my heart.
You talked about performing at halftime at the Hole. The Hole is Hale Stadium, for those who don't know, which is the stadium on Tennessee State University's campus. Is no longer currently being used, but at one point before the Titans, before TSU Tigers signed a contract to go play at the Titan Stadium, all of our football games were played right there on campus. So going a little bit further about describing the feeling of performing in the Hole in front of your classmates, in front of your peers. What was that like?
Yeah, it was nothing like it because the closeness of it, I could, because of my height and everything, I could see me right there in the middle, like on that 50-yard line, the energy. I really hope one day we get back to perform, TSU will be able to have their own, our own stadium again. Because I haven't performed at the Titans. Well, actually, I have performed at the Titan Stadium. It wasn't as formal as when I was in school, but the what was it? I'm trying to remember when it was all the majorettes. We were able to go out on the field and did the performance recently, and it's just different because it's so big. But being there at Hale Stadium at TSU, seeing your peers, the sound, the energy, it's just nothing like it. Nothing like it.
Yeah, God, I remember it so much. I remember seeing you down there at on the field at the 50-yard line. I was in school too. I didn't know you then, but I kind of knew who you were, but I
Yeah.
didn't know you then. But it's just amazing the vivid images of performing as a majorette, the attire that you guys would wear, the elaborate dance moves that you guys would do. Everybody was in unison. It was in conjunction with the band. Everybody on campus was there in the hall watching. It was a very electric time to be a student and to be a fan of TSU football, and to have that experience of halftime performance by you guys. It was just awesome to see. And I'm still inspired by watching the young ladies that are sophisticated ladies today performing and
Yeah.
still carrying on that tradition of excellence and and unity. It's amazing how that type of tradition lasts forever. I mean, that was 30 plus years ago when we were
Mhm.
there and you were doing that, but still to this day, those majorettes are still out there doing those same amazing performances.
Yes, for sure. But hopefully we'll get back. We'll get back there one day for sure.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's go move forward. All right, let's talk about one of the most passionate activities that you have
Hmm.
dedicated yourself to this year, and that is your creative inspiration. Your YouTube channel has begun to grow, and according to your data analytics, you're starting to reach people from all across the world. What is the main purpose of your channel, and who is your channel designed to help?
Yes. So it's Dr. Latonya Inspires is just what it says, that I want to help people navigate life's transitions from um, just practical encouragement, uh, wellness tips, purpose, personal growth, and not necessarily finding your purpose, but deciding. Like, we would have these conversations all the time, but just deciding, okay, this is what I'm passionate about and what I want to do. Um, and just wanting to have a space to be there with someone to walk through, whether it's needing that morning encouragement. I have the like morning moments, or an evening wind down after a stressful, day, or in the middle of the day when you have that stressful moment, that you're just trying to get through the middle of the day. And then the podcast, The Balanced NP Life. Yes, my target audience is the nurse, the nurse practitioner. And I won't even use burned out because I think we use that term a lot. But the nurse practitioner, and in particularly Black nurse practitioners that are in midlife, because we encounter a lot of um, I want to use the word struggles, but there's a lot of things that we deal with that can have a heavy burden. And so I just want to be that space of to have those conversations and to have education and a resource. So not just for, to motivate somebody for the moment, but to just walk you through your next chapter. I use that term a lot, to walk alongside you, whether it's in the morning, midday, or afternoon. And as far as who is it? So I told you who it's for, in particularly the Black nurse practitioner, but it probably resonate with a lot of women who are especially in what's called like the sandwich generation, in your 50, 60, meaning you're caring for yourself, your household, and maybe, parents and stuff like that as well. But just wanting to be that space that, where anybody can, particularly women, can come to have that, encouragement or resource to help them get through and kind of figure out either reinvention, meaning, there may come a time where you have been doing what you've always done. This is what your degree is in, right? But deep inside that that's not where you're supposed to be anymore. And I just want to have that platform and space to kind of lead you and guide you and encourage you, or women to know that it's okay to let that go and to explore, what you can become, and it's not too late to become what you're passionate about. And and that's what the platform is for. Like you said, looking at the analytics, I know there's, probably some men that look at it too and may be able to relate. I think we all, can relate, but I think I especially connect with women who've spent those years taking care for everyone else, that may be experiencing that burnout, maybe want a career change, although their degree is in something else, or have that caregiving responsibility and just simply asking, okay, what's next for me? And I just want them to know that that story isn't over. It's not too late to explore that. I know that's a long answer, but my mission, and this is, I just want to inspire people to live healthier, but in a practical way. You know what I mean? Like, you go to the doctor's office and, they'll tell you to do A, B, C, and D, but what does that look like when I get home? So I think that's my mission, is just to inspire to live healthier, more in a practical way, more purposeful, more intentional, and knowing that, the importance also of mental health, and to not try to go at it alone, go at things alone. But I'll leave it there because I can just go on and on, if you're like, okay, my vision is just big, right? And things that I want to do. I just want to be that voice of encouragement and wellness and helping people to embrace that, so I'll leave it at that because I can go on and on.
Yeah, no, I was fully engaged in the conversation, and I think the audience listening will probably engage for sure in that part, because you're speaking to a lot of people, when you talk about the desire to maybe, after spending 25 or 30 years in a career field, at some point, and you said you don't like to use that word burnout so much because it's kind of overused, but that's kind of what it becomes at some point. It's like, I'm kind of tired of doing this. I want to do something different. I've done this my whole life, what seems like my whole life. And now, as we get older, we start processing our eventual mortality, meaning we only have so many more summers left on this planet, and we want to fulfill some of those summers with some things that we want to do, we want to pursue. So I think it's great that you're taking the time to encourage and motivate and inspire other nurse practitioners, other medical health professionals, other women, and even men, to look at life once they get to this stage in a way that allows them the opportunity to be all that they've ever wanted to be, and not just the career person that they wanted to be. I think that's really great. I also think it's great that your channel is helping women, particularly morning, noon, and night. You know, you have a morning episode, you have an afternoon session, and an evening wind down. I think that's great because a lot of people are searching for that type of motivation, that type of encouragement, that type of peace at different times of the day. And
Mm-hmm.
you're offering a variety of takes on peace and relaxation and meditation each time you do this. So I think that's dope. I'm proud of you. Happy for you. Looking forward to seeing what comes next as your channel continues to grow.
Yeah, and I'll add this. What led me to that too, to the channel too, was it was what I was looking for. So my content isn't anything that I'm just, oh, let me just randomly come up with XYZ. No, I have been up myself after charting all day, answering messages, or just feeling overwhelmed, and on YouTube looking for. And I remember in my head, like, man, I just want something, look at something, listen to something that I can wind down. So that's how I came up with that. The morning moments is that came from me trying to develop structure myself in the morning, or routine in the morning. And that's how I came up with morning moments. Affirmations, I love them, but oftentimes we need more than just the affirmation. So it's the gratitude, and sometimes I may tell like a little story, but that came from me needing something that I can go to in the morning instead of just grabbing that cell phone, right? Uh, Something where I can go and I can listen to. Sometimes you'll see me sitting there and I'm just, look like I'm asleep, but I'm sitting straight up. I'm like, if you see me sitting up, I'm meditating, or whatever. So uh, just having that space in the same day with midday, at lunch, like, oh man, I just, let me get up, let me unwind, and just looking looking for something that's more of a structured, that's positive, outside of what we do, get our phone and start scrolling. So everything that I've creating or talk about, it came from me and lived experiences.
Mhm.
So, I just wanted to add that it's not random. Most of it is lived experiences,
Yeah.
and knowing what I needed led me to hopefully give back and help someone else that may need it.
Yeah, I hope if you're watching, I hope that encourages someone out there in the audience, because um, she mentioned she didn't create this just willy nilly. She didn't just go out and say, I want to do something. I'm just going to create a channel to inspire people. She
Mhm.
was looking for it herself. And when she found a method of getting that, she said, man, I know there's other people like me that also need this. So I'm going to do it in my way to also provide this for other people. It's the same way that this channel started. I was scrolling for, I started out as a music producer, producing music online in the music community, constantly looking for ways to inspire myself, ways to encourage myself and motivate myself. And, out of that desire for inspiration, I became a
Mhm.
sponge for inspiration. And I'm like, I became
We
so
both did.
filled with inspiration that I'm like, I need to go ahead and I want to put together a show or something, a platform where I can invite people to the podcast. I can be inspired by them, and I can share their inspiration with other people. And
Mhm.
that's how this started. So I think that's great. And if you're listening, like I said, find what you need and realize that there are 8 billion people on this planet. There's quite likely a few more people just like you that need what you need. And if you have the motivation and the courage to provide it for them, then you too can build a platform. It doesn't have to necessarily be a podcast. It could be a program. It could be writing a book. It could be whatever your level of creativity or inspirational output is. Provide it for other people just as you search for it, and you will find success. And you will also find a level of peace and happiness because you're giving back, and it becomes natural. It becomes something that you learned, and you're paying it forward. So I think that's dope.
Yeah.
I think that's dope. All right. You are a very proud mother and a loving dog mommy. How
Yes.
have your babies motivated you to keep striving for more while their needs sometimes seem to be a bit exhausting?
Wow. Um, I'm learning to, I guess, create boundaries. And I think the first part of the question you said, so number one, how does it motivate me?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
It motivates me because I know this sounds cliche-ish, but we always want better for our
Mm-hmm.
kids, right? And I want better for them. And that's one of the reasons I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm sure you're doing what you're doing. And I want to leave a legacy. I went and visited church this past Sunday, and I loved it was saying leave a legacy and not a limp. Man,
Mm-hmm.
it was, man, service was good. It was so good. But that stuck with me. Like, I don't want to leave a limp being, I don't I don't want to leave debt. I don't want to leave regrets.
Mm-hmm.
I want to leave my intellectual, I call this my intellectual property. Um, and they have inspired me to do that. I want them to see that just go for it. Like I always say, just take that step and just go for it. So it doesn't matter if you have one follower, two follower, or whatever. This is still your intellectual property. Whatever you have, put it out there to the world. And I think I told you this. And I can't remember where I heard this, but they said that the best ideas and inventions are in the grave because we keep it to ourselves, trying to wait for that perfect moment, right? And so they are inspiring me to do better, to want better, and also to be more humble. Like when I'm wrong, because now they'll be like, "Mom, you
Mm-hmm.
wrong. You snapped off a little bit about them, at the store." Or and I'm like, "You right." So they inspire me to do better. Um, and it's funny because even being like a dog mom, Kobe, that's my baby. Anybody that follow me, I'm usually have pictures with him, and I tell you, I think he understands this. But I think having a, I call them fur babies, it helps you to be compassionate and to put, again, someone else's needs before yours. And yes, it definitely can become stressful. I think the second part of that question was about, how do I, balance that? And I think boundaries, and I'm learning to have those boundaries because, this, babe. I hate to tell my babies no.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten a lot, I've gotten a lot better, but I'm the what they say,
Yes,
yes, ma'am.
queen.
I was yes, man.
Yes,
I
queen. They go straight.
queen.
They bypass daddy all the time.
But I have learned I've learned the power of no and to set those boundaries, you know, um, so that I don't become, frustrated. But it's a balance. It's a challenge. It's, motherhood is one of the hardest jobs I think anybody, can ever have. And, you know, some people know, some people may not, but I was a single mom too. We have a wonderful blended family. I'm happy, not ashamed of that or anything like that. But I was a single mom. It was me and my daughter. She was what, 2 when we met,
Mm-hmm.
but it's still one of the most rewarding. things, experiences that you can be blessed in. So I think to answer or sum that question up, they inspire me to not be ashamed of mistakes, to keep going, to for don't worry about what someone else is going to think about what you're doing, just to take that next faithful step to do what's in my heart to do, because you don't have to search for them. The person, the business, the entity that needs you, they're going to find you. But if you don't put it out there, how are you going to give back to the world?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, great way to finish off the answer to that question. You said a couple of things that really stood out to me, and that was one: some of the best ideas are in the grave. And that's because not enough of us um, realize the power that we have within and our mortality. You have to be realistic about a lifespan. No one is going to be here forever. And the older
That's
you
right.
get, the more opportunities you have to leave this earth just by the nature of default, by age, by sickness, by illness, by those types of things. It's hard to survive as a human being in the world,
Right.
but it's a lot easier when you're doing something that you're passionate about. You're doing something that's helping, that's providing a avenue for you to explore other areas of yourself. And the second thing you mentioned was, your children help you become a better version of yourself. And so I encourage you, even if you don't have children, if you don't have a pet or something like that, that you have to care for, find that thing in your life that
Mm-hmm.
that forces you to be a higher version of yourself, that forces you to operate in the highest version of yourself. That's when you're going to find success. You're going to find success when you're operating in the highest version of yourself. Our normal behaviors, our normal desires aren't good enough to get us where we want to be in our mind. You have to
Mm-hmm.
perform at your highest level in order to get to where you envision yourself here. And you want to start doing that as early as you can in life, especially when you're our age, because we're not getting any younger and you do not know the day or the time in which you'll be called home. So, yeah, thank you for that. I hope someone out there is encouraged by that word.
Yeah. And I'll add to be bold with it too.
That part.
Step out there, be bold. Don't worry about, oh man, I said this the wrong way. I look crazy. It Just be bold with it, because people want
Mm-hmm.
authenticity. So just step out there and do what you need to do. I feel like I have roller skates on now, all these ideas and things that built up in my head, but I was waiting for that perfect moment because it's just how my mind operates.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but now I'm like, okay, I've been saying I want to do this. I'm going to do this. I've been saying I want to create this or make this. I'm going to put this out there and make this. So just be bold with it and step out there and don't worry about what no one else is going to think or is going to say, because there's someone who, it may not tell you, but there is someone who is listening to what you're saying and you may touch their lives. So just be bold with it and step out there.
Yeah, that first act of boldness is going to carry you forward, but it takes that first act of boldness. So you have to start somewhere, and you don't have to start at a level of perfection. You don't have to have it all figured out. You'll find that you're more inspired to figure it out once you get
Yeah.
started. Once you get
Yeah.
started, one idea will lead to the next idea, will evolve to a different idea, or will evolve in a better version of what you started with. But if you try to map everything out before you ever get started, first of all, you're never going to find a perfect map or perfect starting point. So
Hmm.
you'll spend the rest of your days in your mind, in your head, trying to wait for that perfect moment, and then you end up leaving this earth. And that's why most of the best ideas are in the grave, because people were waiting for that perfect moment. But you just start and let it evolve. Everything grows. Nothing has a perfect starting point. I don't care what company, every single company on the face of the planet, the most successful ones, they started with an idea. And I guarantee you, the way you see their company now is nowhere near what their company was when they first started.
Right.
So just start and grow with it, grow through it. Thank you for that inspiration, Dr. King. You lived in Atlanta and you've lived in Northern California, and you were born and raised in Nashville, Tennessee. Of the three locations, which city offered you the most opportunity for growth during your years there?
Mm. I would have to say California, although it was shorter than, of course, I would say it's a toss up because home, of course, there's growth here, is where I started and my foundation. But when I look at what I call the pinnacle of my career, where I was at the cusp of the shift in like healthcare and AI and all of that going on simultaneously. I just so happened to be in the Bay Area, right? During that time, and having that exposure to work with startup companies, the exposure to AI and all of that during that time was tremendous and a big part of why I'm doing what I'm doing right now. Um, Having that exposure and working with startup companies and also working with like Stanford Healthcare and organizations like that I never thought that I would work with. um, I had that opportunity to work with them. So I would definitely have to say California when I just think about the mixture of opportunities that I had in such a short while working actually in San Francisco. And I think about it and, uh, the startup clinics working on the beach, the telehealth companies, the AI, exposure, even being a part of helping to like create an app and all of that was just tremendous. And it gave me the confidence that I have even to this day to not only starting this platform with, Dr. Latonya Inspires and the Wealth Care MP. That's a whole nother platform that we hadn't talked about, but it's just me wanting to help myself along with my fellow nurse practitioners prepare for retirement because, we just didn't have that um, education throughout our career. But I definitely have to say California for sure, and especially the network and the people that I've met and my mentors that I still, we communicate every now and then, keep up with each other through social media and even sometimes via text during the holidays. So I definitely have to say California.
If you could, if money was no object and you could pick one of the three places to spend the rest of your days here on this earth, would it be Atlanta? Would it be here in Nashville? Or would it be somewhere in California?
Good old Sunshine, California for sure. The culture, my experience there, if money wasn't an object, it would definitely be California. Just uh, the vast amount of different culture and experiences, the weather. You can drive this way, a few miles and be in the mountains and snow, and then go over here and be, at the beach. But I just feel like it's a melting pot. And I think some people refer to me, they'll call me like a flower child or whatever, right? But I think I fit right in for sure.
Yeah, you look like your middle name could be Rainbow.
So, yeah, I ain't thinking about you.
I hope y'all
Uh,
found that funny. Anyway, all right. I wouldn't joke with no other guests like that, but all right.
yeah, but in California for sure. It's funny because I can think about it and sense the water, and because I actually worked on the beach. Really, at during lunchtime, I would be able to walk there, but it just brings, you know, life back into me for sure.
Yeah, we got to get back there at some point, but money's gonna have to
Yeah,
be no object because
there you go.
otherwise, California ain't gonna see us
Right,
but on vacation.
exactly. Right. I have to look at the
Yeah,
pictures
for
now.
sure. All right, Doc.
Yeah.
Here's a thought-provoking question for you.
Uh-oh.
What is your greatest fear in life?
I don't want to sound cliche-ish. I know a lot of people say this, but it's not leaving my mark, or leaving this earth too soon and not accomplishing all the things that I have inside to accomplish. I think is the biggest fear, and not leaving a legacy for my family. And a legacy, I'll say this, is much bigger than the house, the car, granted, all of that is important, but it depends. You got to have everything lined up right,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because that can also leave a headache if things ain't,
Could be a
set up
burden.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But even the intellectual part, I keep going back to that, leaving the legacy of hope, leaving the legacy of resilience, tenacity. I want them to be able to say, hey, she overcame this, or she always put a smile on my face, or to know that, the intentions was always good. So to be able to leave that type of mark, I just want to have the time to be able to do that. That's why I'm like, I'm going to start this now. This is not a this is my
Yeah.
podcast studio. Welcome,
Yeah.
but I have to say that's probably the biggest fear. I don't want to keep going back to leaving that limp, but I don't want to leave a limp.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad. I mean, that sound leaving a limp or a legacy, man, that hit home. That's
That hit home. I'm going back this Sunday too, y'all.
yeah. That hits home. You know, and you said at the start of it, you don't want to sound cliche-ish, but
Yeah,
I am always looking for a cliche-ish answer to that question. That's a revisit your dreams question. I expect that answer from almost everybody that answers it. And I will keep asking that question because everyone out there listening needs to understand that you have a mortality date. You have a date when you will leave this earth.
yes,
What you do before you leave this earth is going to be your legacy. What you don't
yeah,
do before you leave this earth is also going to be part of your legacy. Some of your legacy might be that, man, he had some great ideas. She had some great ideas, but they're no longer
right,
here. They're in the grave.
right,
So
yeah,
that's why I asked this question because, and I expect everybody to kind of answer it cliche ish. If you have a different response, cool. But I for sure don't want to leave this earth without accomplishing the things that I set out to do and leaving a legacy for my children. And like you said, it's beyond money and material things, a house and insurance policies and stuff like that. It goes, you know, all that stuff can come and go. But one
yeah,
thing that won't leave them is the impact that you left on their life that tells them if my dad or my mom can do it, I can do it. I saw them
yeah.
push through. I know it's possible. That's the legacy and the mark that I think we should all desire to leave for our family and even some of our closest friends. Um,
And I think what that question also shows you too, Johnny, is that I'm sure as this show goes on, you won't hear too many people say their biggest fear uh, is, oh man, I didn't get that dream car, or I left this earth before I built this mansion from the ground up. Now, granted, I'm not saying that's not important, but that's a thought provoking question where I think that's when you really realize that, yes, those things are important, but it goes back to the internal you too, and who you're wanting to become, or like you said, revisiting that dream. So I, keep asking that question. That's definitely a good thought provoking question
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. And if you're watching and you ever, come on to the show as a guest, I'm not going to be upset if you answer it differently, but I would expect you to sound cliche-ish because that's,
Yeah.
especially if you're our age, that's one of the biggest fears is not accomplishing something that we wanted to accomplish. You're close to retirement age. You've worked in a career for 25, 30, 40 years. You finally want to settle down and be able to enjoy life, or accomplish that thing that you want to do, even if it's something that, like, maybe it's not building a business, maybe it's not starting a podcast or inspiring people. It could just be, I want to travel to every state in the country before I leave this earth. Well, start today. Start planning it.
Mhm.
Don't wait until you get 75 and then you're not going to be able to enjoy it. So
Yeah.
it's a thought-provoking question to encourage people to move forward without hesitation. All right, we getting ready to have some fun, Doc. Just
Okay.
like every
Okay.
other guest this season, can't just let you hop up in the ride, then hop up out the ride without having a little fun with you revisit your dream style. So
Okay.
it's time for another installment of Off Top. Let's get it.
All right.
All right. Since you were born and raised in the city of Nashville and have lived here the majority of your life, we're going to
Mm-hmm.
call this the Music City USA edition of Off Top.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right. So here's how this goes. I'll call out the name of a person, place, or thing, and you tell us in 30 seconds or less, first thing that comes to mind, off top.
Okay. All right.
Got it?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go.
Okay.
This is the Music City USA edition of Off Top, Dr. Latonya
All
King.
right.
Off top, lead singer of the R&B group Silk, Gary Jenkins.
Yeah. So Gary Jenkins actually came to our I think he performed during our AKA week at
Mm-hmm.
TSU. So I think of Gary as our homeboy, down to earth. Hey, because he participated in AKA week,
Mm-hmm.
For Tenacious 28. So Gary Jenkins always gonna hold that special place
Yeah.
for sure for doing that for us. I don't even know if you knew
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah. I
Yep.
was in the house. I remember him being there in King Hall.
Yep.
I remember that very vividly. That's why I asked
Mhm.
that question.
Yep. Yep.
Hey, Gary Jenkins. If y'all don't, not familiar with Gary Jenkins, just look up the group Silk. SILK is an R&B group in the early mid '90s. They had some very very strong, powerful R&B songs, and Gary Jenkins was one of the lead singers in that group. All right.
Mhm.
Off top,
Okay.
92Q.
Home. 92Q is home. If you ever go to the radio station, they make you feel like you're a part of the team. That's where you're gonna listen in, tap in, to get all your information of what's going on in the city, and love all their radio announcers. One of my homegirl, Yolanda Beach. Shout out, yo. Uh, but yeah, so that's the home station for sure, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. For those of you who are watching from across the country and other areas, you have that one or two main stations in your city, especially if you're, urban music, R&B, hip hop, that kind of thing. You got those one or two main stations that everybody kind of tunes into. 92Q was that station here in Nashville that I first got introduced to when I moved here after graduated from high school from the Bay Area. You guys, is just like listening to 106.1 KMEL. That's 92Q here in Nashville. So thank you for that. All right. Next one. Off top. Downtown Nashville's Broadway and 2nd Avenue.
Wow. Change. Growing up in so I grew up in North Nashville, which isn't too far from downtown. So from then to now, I call it little baby New Orleans almost,
Mhm.
right? Where we used to just be known for just country music. Now you can't really say that anymore. It's all music, all genres. Of course, it's a lot of country, but it's it's a whole experience now, and I think it's something for everybody. If you've never been, definitely a place to come visit for sure. Music, food, entertainment, culture, now concerts, the whole now. Look at me promoting Nashville.
That's it. It's your
Yeah, yeah.
hometown.
Hometown for sure.
If you
Hmm.
guys have ever watched Nashville New Year's Eve celebration or Nashville 4th of July fireworks celebration, or you watch the NFL on Monday night, they're going to show you pictures of downtown Broadway, a lot of people, a lot of lights, a lot of music. It's kind of like New Orleans, or they some people refer to it as Nash Vegas because it has so much
Yeah,
lights and so much sounds and so much to
I said
do,
baby New Orleans,
kind
but
of
yeah, Nashville.
like a little
Yeah.
mini Vegas. It ain't even don't even come close to Vegas, but but
Hey, hey.
you get the picture with the lights and the sounds and all the different things there is to do here.
And
It's
now the sports, I left that part out too, but yeah.
yeah with the sports. I mean, there's the Titans, there's the Nashville Predators hockey team. Um,
Never thought I would enjoy a hockey game, but I ain't gonna lie. When they throw that fish out there, I get so excited when they threw.
yeah. We got the Nashville Sounds, AAA baseball affiliate for the Oakland A's, and then all of the colleges. I mean, there's a lot of college sports here. Vanderbilt University is here, Tennessee State University, and amongst others. But let's keep moving forward. All right, off top, TSU's aristocrat of bands.
Oh, the look, I'm just stumped. I'm not stumped, but I was just getting ready to say, the greatest band in the land. That's what I was getting ready to say. The greatest band in the land. Um, home, uh, life experiences. A show. Um, Definitely one that if you've never seen our band perform before, definitely a performance you want to see. So holds a very special place in my heart for sure.
Yeah.
And culture of TSU and HBCUs for sure, and Grammy award winner off top. Like who does that, right? So yeah, that's I think that's mic drop.
Receipts,
Yeah.
receipts right there. Receipts.
Yeah.
Yeah, as Professor Graves would say, the baddest band in the land.
Hmm.
TSU, the baddest
Yep.
band in the land.
The best band. Okay, I'm sorry.
All right. Next one. Off top. Got a few more. One of your most favorite artists to listen to ever. Music Soul
Hmm.
Child.
Hmm. Just poet. Um, when I met you, remember you wrote, you wrote me those the words to his song.
Hmm.
Um,
I was
I
straight
guess.
straight biting off of Music Soul Child. Acting like I was coming straight off the dome with it.
Mm-mm. But just he makes you feel something, like when you listen to his music, Monopoly, and just his sure play on words. But one of favorite artists, hands down. I remember when he first came out, I was like, oh, he's that one for
Yeah,
sure. That one, just sure to me, just poet.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if y'all don't know, during the CD collection days, she definitely had every single one of Music Soul, and still has every single one of Music Soul Child's CDs. Just a dope artist. I like him too. I liked him before I met her too, but she's definitely a huge, huge fan.
Yeah. And I know this don't have nothing to do with off top, but two of my favorite artists are Moon, have the first name Moon. I mean, not Moon. I was thinking. I
Child.
said Music Soul Child. Child, yeah, Music Soul Child. And then who's my other favorite?
Well, that's the next question. So, off
Oh,
top, another artist or group you really love, Moonchild.
Moon Child. Oh my gosh, Moon Child. I hate I missed her too. She came here, but I think I was living in California because I want to say she's from LA, but I just I love her voice, but not only that, who she is as a person. If you ever listen to any of her music, how I tell you what, just go to listen to her Tiny Desk, and you'll say, okay, I see where I see why she likes Moonchild. The tribute that she gives, her heart, and I've never played an instrument, but I have an ear for music and her talent on all the instruments and stuff that she plays. So definitely one of my all-time favorites. I can listen to it on repeat,
Hmm.
just like how I listen to Music Soul Child Christmas album.
Hmm.
On
Man, Music Soul Child Cruise album start playing in September. Be feeling like I'm
That's
at a
right.
retail store around here, man. Retail,
Yeah.
they be starting in July.
Mm-mm. But yeah, Moonchild, other artists for sure.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I mean, you didn't know, but you did know. I couldn't leave Moonchild off of there. So, all right.
Okay,
So
yeah, yeah.
that was number 6. All right, we got one more. One
Okay.
more. Off top, Nashville's National Museum of African American Music.
A wonderful experience. Wonderful experience. I love music, but you're definitely going to learn something. And I love how it's interactive. I think you're able to do like a thumb drive or something. I forgot exactly what they do, but wonderful experience, educational and interactive. No matter if you're black, white, brown, definitely you want to visit for sure.
Yeah, if you come to Nashville, one of the things, there's so much to do, and this is Music City, USA. And most
Mhm.
people think that that relates strictly to country music. But Nashville is known for almost every genre of music, more
Mhm.
popularly known for country music and gospel music. But R&B, hip hop, all of that is here. Alternative music of all types is here in Nashville because every major record label
It's
exists
right there
here in
on the road.
Nashville on Music Row. Every single
Mhm.
one of them, all of the names that you're familiar with, they're all here in Nashville. So that opens the door and opportunity for every type of music to come be performed here in Nashville. And there's so many music venues. I mean, they've built more music venues here than we probably have universities at this point.
Mhm.
There's always a place for somebody to play music here in Nashville, Tennessee. Doc, thank you very much for taking that fun ride with us. You survived. That did a great
Yeah,
job. Survived that ride off top. We thank you for taking that journey with us and letting
it
us
was
know what
fun.
it do in Music City, USA. Thank you very much. Off top. All right.
Thank you.
Final ride. Final question. If you were to give a TED talk to a room of individuals who felt like they were at the end of the rope, so to speak, or feeling burnt out in their career, what words would you share with them that might help them see and shape their future in a different way?
That it's never too late to become who they were created to be and keep becoming. Like that would be my title and the I guess you could say the outline of the thesis. Not thesis, but the outline of what the talk would be about. Um, it would be centered around believing that encouragement, things that they can it can practical, be practical in your thoughts and keep becoming who you desire to be.
Amazing, simple, clean, straightforward.
Hmm.
A backup to what was stated earlier in the show about becoming more of yourself, becoming more of what you desire, and operating at the highest version of yourself, giving back, finding that thing that makes you tick, and then finding other people like you and help them make that same thing tick within them. That's where you're going to find happiness, joy, and success, because it's natural. It comes natural to you at that point because you've experienced it, you've done it, you're familiar with it, and you're continually using it to keep you going. So it's easier to pay it forward to someone else. Thank you, Doc, very much for answering all these questions. Thank you very much for this interview. I appreciate the inspiration that you provided. Audience, I hope that you got something out of this interview. I hope that you got something from her words. We have a great time off camera, but this was fun, first time experience to do something like this on camera. For those of you who are still here at this point watching, just so you know, we in the same house. She upstairs, I'm downstairs. But this has been Revisit Your Dreams. We're going to wrap it up right here. Dr. Latonya, I'm going to give you the platform and opportunity to talk to our audience. Anything that you'd like to share with them, anything you'd like them to know, if you want to promote a product or business, anything, the platform is yours.
Yes, yes. Number one, thank you. This was fun. I've always like, oh, you don't want to interview me, but I'm glad I did it. But I just want to say, please connect with me if you're looking for encouragement, if you're looking for practical wellness tips, mental health tips. You can connect with me. Can't talk. Connect with me on my platform on YouTube. It's just my name, Dr. Latonya King. I share, morning moments, evening wind downs, and midday tips to get you through the middle of the day. So I hope that you can join me on that community. In that community, and yeah, I think that's it. All my name is just at Dr. Latonya King on all platforms.
That's dope. That's dope. Thank you so much. That is amazing. If you guys need inspiration, you're looking for inspiration, especially if you're a woman and you're looking for inspiration, if you're looking for a way to help you wind down in the evening or help you get your day started in the morning vibrantly, or even to help carry you throughout the day, some motivation and tidbits throughout the day. Tap into Dr. Latonya King on YouTube. Her channel is Dr. Latonya King Inspires, but it's just going to be Dr. Latonya King. So thank you very much for this interview. Thank you very much for this time. Again, audience, I hope that you got something from it. If you did, I ask that you like, subscribe, and share this episode with someone who you know that might get something from it. We are excited about what we have going here in season 4, titled Artisans. We just passed over about 180 subscribers. We're hoping to get to about 250 by the end of season 4. As I've always said, I'm not so big on numbers. I'm not caught up on having so many views and so many subscribers. That's not the purpose of me mentioning this. The purpose of me mentioning it is when we get our subscribers numbers up, it encourages other people to want to watch the content. The more eyes we have on the content, the more people we can inspire. And that's the whole goal of this podcast, to inspire as many people as possible. So please like, please subscribe, and please share with someone that you know that might gain something from this information. And if you know someone who is still in the pursuit of their dreams, you should encourage them to keep growing and keep going until their dreams are realized, because you never know when that dream might be a dream that improves all of our lives. And last reminder, our shows air each Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for everybody out there on the West Coast. We want to thank you for joining us again on this episode of Revisit Your Dreams. And we see you again real soon. One love. We out.
We out. Peace.
Thanks, Doc.
You're welcome, babe.
Peace.